Welcome to Okomfo Anokye Sword site. And my name is Nana Usu. And here is called Bantama. And the Bantama is part of Kumasi, where our legendary fetish priest Anokye. Priest in Akan, we said Okomfo, so Okomfo Anokye. Hence, priest Anokye. Planted a sword over 323 years now. And nobody has able to pull this one out. Because he didn't plant a sword here to throw challenges or to pull it out. But it is here purposely for the unity in Asante Kingdom here and where Asante began. And where he stood and conjoined the golden stool from the sky.
So, right here?
Yeah, he stood here and conjoined the golden stool. And that's a portrait of the golden stool. And a portrait. Yeah.
And this is the sword?
And that is sword.
That's over 300 years old?
Yeah, 323 years. That's 1695.
1695?
Yeah.
1695 when the Asante Kingdom came to power?
Yes. So the Asante Kingdom got their independence in 1695. So that's 17th century. Yeah.
So what is this?
This one? Mm-hmm. They call this one Hex. They use this one to invoke, to call ancestors. Okay. But this one is not for him, the fetish priest. But we perform rituals here, you pour libation here. And it's done by the king of Asante. That's why I have the bottles in there. So when the king comes here, it's randomly performation of that ritual. So when he comes here, he sits on this stool, the model stool. So this stool, no one is allowed to sit on that, except the king of Asante, Okomfo Anokye the second.
Now tell me, what kingdoms came together under the Asante in 1695?
In 1695, there were 11 kings, those who came together to form the Asantes. So these 11 kings are these people. A debate took place like this. And these people sitting there are those who are conquered by a state called C.E.H.R state. And C.E.H.R people are found in the central region. Because in the olden days, when this sword was planted here, there's no Asante. But at that time, we are all Akans. A state with a paramount chiefs. So if one state won power, you have to go to war and conquer. So one of the states among them called C.E.H.R, they became powerful. Because anytime they range war, they defeat others. And because of their powers, they try to set aside. They won't work. And they will order the conquered state to send them some items every 42 days. And anytime those conquered states found themselves on C.E.H.R land, the C.E.H.R people gave them bad treatment. So that time, the legendary fetish priest, Okomfo Anokye, he was a chief at a state called Aguna State. And Aguna is the one of the state in Asante Kingdom here. So he was part of them. So all the kings on the conquered state, they all gathered here like this. They met on this land purposely to find solution to their problems or retaliate what the C.E.H.R state are doing to them. So the fetish priest Okomfo Anokye, he told them that before they can conquer the C.E.H.R state, they have to join together so that they can get a united body and rage war against them. So all the kings agreed. He told them that while they agree for war, every war there is a leader. And because they were kings, he said he can't choose the leader by himself. So that's the reason why he stood in the middle of the people like this. And he invoked the gods. He called ancestors. And the gods gave him a stool called the golden stool from the sky. He told them that the one the golden stool will land on his lap, that person will be their leader. So the golden stool landed on the lap of King Osedu the first. So he became the leader among all the kings, or the choosing one by ancestors. And that's a big picture of the first king. The one the golden stool landed on his lap, Okomfo Anokye the first. And in Akan state here, every king has a stool like this. And we call that stool the black stools. That gave them power to become a king. So because they were kings, when they came in, they came along with their stools, those people. So our Komfo Anokye told them that they are not going to serve the stool that they brought here again. But they all serve the golden stool the gods are giving to them. So they all agreed. So those kings, those who gathered here, part of their hair, part of their fingernails were cut and burned them to ashes by the legendary fetish priest Okomfo Anokye. He added some of the ashes into a palm wine. I hope you know palm wine. It's a local drink from a palm tree. He added some of the ashes into that wine for them to drink as a covenant. And the rest of the ashes, he collected all their blood stool that they came, their stools, and buried all their stools here.
Here?
Yes. Before he planted a sword on the top of the stools. And he told them that if someone comes here for his stool that they are buried here, the unity that they had here will be no more. And before he can take your stool from the ground, he had to pull the sword out. Because all the stools are buried under the sword. And from there he made a prophecy that it will be a time, if you are sick and you find yourself here with your sickness and you don't get healing or you don't get medicine, it will be a problem for you in this world. He made another prophecy that it will be a time, this land, some people will come here, at the same time, some people will go from here. Meaning some people will die here, at the same time, some people will be born here. And he prophesied in 1695. And the prophecy came through over 200 years, by that 1950s, where a company from Europe called G. Walker and Slater Company. A contract was awarded to that company by Public Health Department to build a hospital for us. So when they came in and surveyed this land, and this are very rich or good for them to build a hospital, they tried to clear the land, build this hospital in the 1950s. So during the construction of the hospital, they came across the sword here. They thought it was gold. Because in the olden days, they used gold as their currency. That time they called the gold coast, not Ghana. And that time too, they don't have banks. So some people kept their money at home, others buried them and used symbols on it for their near future. So when they saw this one, they thought some of some gold here with a symbol. So they have to take it off. When they are digging the ground, instead of sword to show up, it was going down or sinking. So they came with machines. The sword became invisible. So they took that opportunity to excavate every place where they can find, but they couldn't find it again. Later on, the sword appears. So when they came back and found out that the sword is there, they tried to spread the message across the nation, across the whole world. A lot of people heard what is happening here and showed they are trying to pull it out, including the late heavyweight boxer called Muhammad Ali, or Cassius Clay. He came in 1964 to show his strength, but he couldn't. And that time we have one Ghanaian boxer called Jack Toller. He won for charm, or did you, from a powerful man to spend here. He spent 1 week, but couldn't put the sword out because the sword was not planted to pull it out or to throw challenges. But it is here purposely for the unity in Asante Kingdom here, and where Asante began, and where he stood and enjoyed the golden stool from the sky. When I said where Asante began, I said before the sword was put in here, there's no Asante. By that time, we are all Akans. But those kings, these people, these gathered here, those people became Asantes. They became Asantes from the time they joined together. And they joined together purposely to range war. And war in our language, or in Akan, we say it Esa. So their fellow Akans normally call them Asante. Hence, because of war. It's because of war all these people came together. So we get the word Asante from the word Asante, meaning because of war. That is mean of Asante, because of war. You have any question you can ask?
We covered everything. So how many clans are under the Asante?
We are 8 clans.
8 clans?
Yes.
Who are they?
We have Oyokwo, Diana, Agona, Bretuo, C.E.H.R, and got the rest. But I will tell everything before you leave here.
So it was here that
Yes.
Asante
Yes.
called the
Golden.
here, right here.
The Durban here, the Durban, this place took place here.
Right here.
Everything happened on this land. Yes. The same day the golden soup came and the sword was planted. The same day, everything done.
All right, thank you. I don't think there's anything else.